Hi, everybody. I am Suzanne Benatar. I am a product manager here at Michael's in the kids division. And today we are going to make the paper posable character from the summer camp Creatology bundle. And we have a little toucan here, and he's going to be able to move his mouth, open and close it. We're going to move his little feet and his wings. So let's get to making this. So first, this is the bundle that it comes in, and when you open it up, I'm just going to slide this over. When you open it up, we can see all kinds of good things inside. So the first that we have, brochure or our instruction book. When you open it, you will get some information on what the camp is, and then what the supplies are, and where what page each of the projects are on. And then you will keep turning, and we have some fun little images, and then you get to the actual instruction sheet itself. And there's other projects inside here as well, like the tissue paper sun catcher and the 3D paper collage kit. And then we also have some activity pages and a bonus craft inside the kit, and then some coloring pages as well. So I'm going to go back and open up the instruction sheet to the posable paper character, which is what we're going to do today. And I'm going to set it aside. And then inside you can see all of the stuff that comes with it. So the first thing that we need to find is our paint, which I have over here as well. So our paint pots is what we're going to need. We're also going to need a paintbrush. We're going to need scissors, and we're going to need the brads. We will need our tracing template, which looks like this. When you find it inside the box, which actually is also right here, resting on top. And then you're going to need to find the little package that has the wiggle eyes and some sequins inside. You will need a pencil. The pencil is not inside the kit, so please make sure you have a pencil, because we're going to need that for tracing and cutting. And then we need some paper, which I believe is underneath here. So you're going to need 5 sheets of paper that are included inside the kit. We need white, red, orange, blue, and black. And then also make sure you're working in an area where you have your surface covered, because we will be using some glue and we will be using the paint. And we certainly don't want to make any stains or marks on your furniture. So let's get to it. So the first thing we want to do is find our tracing templates. And I suggest that we punch them all out first from the sheet. And then when you're done punching them all out, let's go back and punch out any little holes that we see inside the template. So if you take your pencil, and let's just take the little, if you can see the little hole, it's hard to see it, but if you can see the little hole right here, we're just going to take our pencil and punch through, just like that. So now we have a hole. So do that on each one, because these holes are what we're going to use to attach the brads, to attach these shapes to each other, so that we can have the posable character and move him around. And it's okay if you get some pencil lines on the templates. It's not going to hurt anything. It's kind of fun punching these guys out. All right. So now that we've punched out our templates and punched out the little holes, I like to just kind of position them and get a sense for what it is that we're cutting out. So these 2 little guys are going to be the feet. If you can see the shape, these are going to be the feet, and the feet are in orange. So we're going to have those with the orange paper. And then we have this guy, which is going to be part of its mouth. And then this is also part of the mouth. So the smaller piece is going to go on red paper. And then the top piece is going to go on orange as well. So maybe to make it easy, we'll just put our templates on top of the coordinating color. And then this is the main body of the toucan. So he's going to go on black. And then we have this shape that's going to be the belly of the toucan. So he's going to go on white. And then the last but not least is his little wing, which is going to go on blue. So now we have everything positioned according to the colors. And now we're going to trace, and I will start with the big ones first. So let's go with the black. And this one's going to be a little hard because you're working with black lead or pencil lines, but you should still be able to see it show up. So what I like to do is just kind of center it and put a lot of pressure down with my non-writing hand. So in this case, I'm a righty, so use my left hand to hold the shape down, and then I'm just going to trace around. And his tail might move a little bit, but I think that'll be okay. And you can see that I didn't do it as perfect, but I can come back around and then just keep tracing. And then don't forget to draw in the little circles that are open so you know where to punch for later on your shape. Oops. So your shape should look like that. And it matches to the template. So you have 4 holes inside and we have 4 dots on the black. So I'll set him aside. And then we will go to the blue one for his little wing. And there's no particular place on the paper to position him. Just put him somewhere. And make sure you use your other hand to hold it down like I am. And then just trace around the outside. And then don't forget to trace the little hole inside. So there's our little blue guy, our little wing. Let's see. And then we'll do the lower part of his beak on red. And we'll just keep following the outside. And we'll circle in or color in the little hole. We have that. Then we will go to the belly and we'll do it on white. And again, we will trace around. And then fill in, what do we have here? 3 holes. And there we go. And then last but not least is our orange sheet, which was where we have 3. So just kind of space them out so that you have room to cut around them, but also kind of put them in the center so that you don't risk as much tearing when you're cutting them. So I will do the top part of his beak first. And then don't forget to do the dot. And then I will do his little feet. And this one might be a little challenging because it is on the small side, but just take your time. And just keep using your finger to keep it in place. And remember, I believe the same with the toucans. No 2 feet are the same on a toucan, so it's okay if it's not a perfect match. And then just like me, I forgot to do the circle or color in the circle. So just put your template back on the sheet and just kind of center it and then draw in your color in your circle. Let me do the next one. All right, so now you should have all of your templates traced out onto the color sheets of paper. We can put our templates over to the side because we don't need them anymore. And then we recommend that you punch out the little holes first that we put on the template. So here on the orange sheet, I'm going to punch out each of the little black dots ahead of time before cutting out the shapes. And I'm just going to take my pencil and I'm just going to push through just like that. You see? And what I'm doing is instead of just pushing, I'm also twisting the pencil at the same time as I am pushing it in. See how I'm twisting? And I just keep twisting and twisting until I feel it go through. I keep putting a little pressure on because you don't want to break your points. And so there I now have 3 holes. And I'm just going to go back in and just make sure that they're open enough to use. All right, so we'll do that on every single template that we drew out. Now I'm just going to go to the red one. And again, it's okay if you make it a little bigger, the bread will keep it in place once we connect them. And if you don't have a pencil, I would think you could use whatever tool you were using to trace. If it's a pen, if you're using a marker and it's more like a chubby marker or a wide marker, it might be more challenging to punch. So I would recommend using the brads that are included, or even trying to use the tip of the end of the paintbrush. And I'll test that here and see if that works. Yep, it does. Actually works faster than the pencil. I'm going to continue using it with the paintbrush. There's one. There's 2. Three. And 4. All right. So now all of your templates should have a hole or multiple holes punched out. Just showing you mine again so you have a reference of what they should look like. One don't look as much, but I'm just going to go back through since this was the first one we did and just kind of push them through, make them a little bigger. Oops. All right, so now we can go to cutting them out. And remember, we'll reference the finished image, but also on your instruction page is also a finished image in the upper right corner. So you can always refer to that as well to remember which color goes with which part of the body. So I am going to start with the orange sheet, and I'm going to take my scissors. And I'm going to start with the bigger piece, and I'm just going to go around, and you can go on the lines or just outside the lines. And we're just going to keep cutting and cutting and cutting. Okay, I'm just going to put it over here, set it aside, and then we're going to go to the little feet, which again are on the small side, so you may need an adult to help you, but if not, just follow the lines and remember to kind of turn the sheet as you're cutting instead of letting the scissors do it all. Just keep turning your sheet, but you might need to ask a parent or a caregiver to help you right now. I'm just going to keep following the lines. And it's okay if it keeps falling out of your hands like it is with mine. Just bring it back and keep cutting. And then the last one. Okay, then I'll set the orange paper aside, and then we'll go to the red one and we'll cut out the lower part of the toucan's beak. And we're just going to follow the lines. And then instead of going around that tight corner, I went back down to the end of the beak and started up the longer side to just kind of make it a little easier to cut. And now to the white one, which is going to be the toucan's front or belly. And if you have at any point in this time cut through a template or made a mistake, there's plenty of room on the paper to go back and retrace the template and start again. So if you did make a mistake, do not worry. You can stop and start again where you left off. That's kind of the beauty of this kit, is that there's enough inside to be able to redo if you should make a mistake. And now the last color, or the last template we're going to cut out, is the body of the toucan. I keep tracing and tracing, and here's where we get into a little part of its tail. Just you might want to just cut beyond it a little bit, see how I did it there, and then come back in and go around the arch. And you could go a little beyond if you wanted to, so that you could get inside here. And then we could always come back around and do it from the other side. And again, remember, it's okay, you don't have to be perfect at cutting it out. If you get it on the line, over the line, under the line, it'll be okay. And then this one, you just want to do a lot of little cuts right here to get to the tail. Even go around it and then come back. To cut it out. All right, so let's just kind of assess what we have here. So we have, oh, we cut him, look at him, that little point right there. Had to cut him off. All right. So what it's going to look like is we got the body of the toucan, and then we have we're just going to kind of line them up. We've got the belly of the toucan, and then we'll have the beak, So it kind of looks like that. We'll have the beak there, and then we'll have his wings. Wing goes there. We'll go on top of here. And then we have his feet. Like that. So what we want to do first is glue the belly onto the body of the and this one. No. So we're going to glue the belly onto the body of the toucan, and just like that. And we want to make sure that we can line them up. So what I would recommend is taking the white shape and kind of putting your either the point of the paintbrush and the putting it through the two so that you can be sure you've got them lined up for gluing purposes. And the same thing here. Kind of just gently punch them through. And then this one as well. Just like that. And then we'll take our white glue and we will just brush the glue through here and here, as well as put it on the back of the white shape. And then I'm just going to take my lower hole here and line it up with the hole underneath. And then push it down so that it can dry. Okay. Just keep pushing. And then if you do get some ink on there, it's okay, pencil lead, it's okay. You can always erase it off. Try to. Okay, so now we want to take our brads and we will start with the mouth. And for the mouth, we just need one, or for the beak, we just need one brad. And we will keep it together for right now. And we will put the two pieces together. Like that. And we will, so I took the one brad, put it in between the orange template, and then I put it towards the red and kind of lined them up so it matches to the beak. And then on the back side, you're going to take, there's two pieces here, if you can see it. And then you're going to want to like kind of separate them. You're going to need to use both hands to do this, but see how I started to separate? And then you're going to want to push them down onto the red. Actually, back up a second. Sorry. Before you do that, you want to connect them to the body of the toucan. So here was the full body. Here is where the mouth should go, or the beak should go, and we're going to put the brads through there. And then we will separate them. Just like that. And that's how it should look. And then we're going to do the same thing with the wing. Get out another brad. Put the brad through the wing. And then we're going to use this hole right here. Put the to attach the wing. It looks like that. And then we will take the feet. And the feet might be a little more tricky, just figuring out the right positioning of them, figuring out where their toes are. It looks like that. And then we'll take the brads. And we'll put it through the orange template. And then we will put actually, I attached that wrong. I'm gonna put the feet underneath the body. So put the brads through the body first. And then attach the feet from the back. So it looks like that. We'll put the brad through the second hole. And then we will and now we have all of the pieces connected. So it looks like that. And we're getting close to finishing off. So now what we just need to do is add the wiggle eye, and then we'll add a little paint to the beak to give it some color, and we will add our sequins. So the first thing we'll do is let's add the sequins and the wiggle eye. Or if you wanted to, you could go to painting. But for the wiggle eye, for the sequins, you need 6 of them, 6 blue ones. And you just need 1 wiggle eye. I'm just going to lay out the 6 sequins. And then I have the 1 wiggle eye. All right, and then I'm going to take my glue. And I am going to put a little glue on the wiggle eye. And just position him so. There's no particular spot. And it's okay if the glue seeps out a little bit. In this case, it was a lot. You can always go back through if you wanted to and wipe it away. But it should dry clear. And then we will do with the clear glue, we will apply the sequins. So I like to just kind of use the bottom of my finger and kind of push down on one. And then I'll put a little glue on the back of it. To get the little stopper out. And then I'll just rub a little glue on the back. And then just put him down. And this might get a little messy, a little sticky, but it's just glue, it'll wash off. This will add a little sparkle, a little shine. Dress our toucan up a little bit. There we go. And then we'll just let him dry for a little bit. And then last but not least, and this glue, the clear glue might be a little stringy, but that's okay too, because once it dries, it'll come off. The last but not least is to just kind of decorate his beak. And this you can decorate however you would like. If you want to do just a little brush of color, you can. If you want to do dots, you could do dots. You could do stripes. You could do whatever you want. And if you don't want to do yellow, you can pick any color that you wish. But in this case, I'm just going to stick with yellow. And I am going to take my pencil and just because I want to match the finished sample, I'm just going to kind of do my own little scallop line as an outline. And then I'm going to open up the paints. These are always, you might need an adult to help you open this. But just do it very gently so you don't make a big mess. And then you might need to just take your brush and just stir the paint around just for a little bit, just to kind of get it all mixed in. Like that. And I'm just going to clean off the brush. And just very gently color in. And then you're going to need to wait probably a good 15 minutes to let the paint dry. And then also the glue's drying, but that too is probably still a little wet. So you want to just give it some time to dry before really playing with your posable character. But that is it. And so then you should be able to move his feet gently. You can move his mouth up and down. And you should be able to move his wing all around. And that's that. That's our finished character. So I hope you had fun making our posable character today. And thank you for joining. And I hope you make other crafts from our summer camp Creatology kit. Bye.